So, cyberpunk is a really cool thing that is hard for entertainment people to create because it's such a niche atmosphere to create that just requires so much mood and intention to create this thing. And in the film we've all seen, Blade Runner 2049, that's a good example of cyberpunk atmosphere. You know, it's gloomy and criminal and kind of like rock and roll, and it's like futuristic, and there's like war involved, and it's just a difficult thing to describe cyberpunk. um, but it's like an atmosphere, and it's like pink lasers and gray tanks with smoke and like bass guitars, just ambiance. Like the ambiance of the cyberpunk ambiance is like a cool thing if you can put it into a film. And you know, of course, the original Blade Runner film from 1986 or 1987, I forget. I don't know. It was from the 1980s, the originals, with Harrison Ford and Sean Young. And you know, that was the coolest cyberpunk movie ever. But the beginning of Terminator, actually the whole movie, 1984 Terminator with Arnold Schwarzenegger, was a totally cyberpunk movie. And the beginning was so cyberpunk with it's not black and white, but it's in color, but everything's dark, and it's like blues and blacks and shades, and the tank comes rolling through, and you see these big tank chains, you know, and there's skulls getting crushed by these tanks, and the soldiers, and the futuristic theme, and the music in that opening was so cyberpunk music, and they've got the lasers and everything, and the ships flying around, and just totally cyberpunk, right? Now, nobody told me this, and I realized it for myself, that James Cameron probably was influenced by Motley Crue to do that scene in his movie, because the song called "In the Beginning" from the Shout at the Devil album is like, "In the beginning, good overpowered the evils of all man's sins. But in time the nations grew weak, and our cities fell to slums, while evil stood strong. In the dust of hell lurked the blackest of hates, for he whom you fear awaits you. Now many, many lifetimes later, laid destroyed, beaten down, only the corpses of rebels, ashes of dreams, and blood-stained streets. It had been written that those who have the youth have the future. So come now, children of the beast, be strong and shout at the devil." And it's that song just has so much in common, well, with the Terminator movie, the whole movie, like the whole story about the Terminator. But the beginning of the Terminator is like, I forget how, when the movie first starts, there's James Cameron, the director for Terminator 1984. he starts the movie with some text on the screen, and the text is so similar to Nikki Sixx's In the Beginning that it's noticeable how similar the text is, and just the premise of the story, and even some of the words are just so similar. But Motley Crue is very cool because especially those first three albums, Too Fast for Love, Shout at the Devil, well, they're all really cool, and Theater of Pain, but I would say Shout at the Devil and Too Fast for Love are more cyberpunk than Theater of Pain. And that's why I wanted to make this third video about Motley Crue, because I gave you a song, 10 Seconds to Love from Shout at the Devil. I gave you a song, Louder Than Hell from Theater of Pain. So I want to give you a song from Too Fast for Love, their very first album, 1981. And so then you'll have one song from each of their best albums. And I like to present you with Motley Crue because I've been listening to Motley Crue since they became famous all over the world, which was in 1984. So because their album came out in 1983, Shout at the Devil is the album that got them famous. So by the time 1984 rolled around, even the kids in grade 2, and you're 7 or 8 years old, we are getting Shout at the Devil albums. And my friend had it, and that's when I first started listening to Motley Crue, is when I was, I was 7. So I've been listening to Motley Crue since I was 7 years old, and I'm 46 now. So that's almost 40 years of Motley Crue, even though I'm only in my 40s. So I've been listening to Motley Crue longer than any other band in my life. And so I'm sharing them with you. They're really cool. And I'm going to present you with this song called Take Me to the Top from their very first album, Too Fast for Love. And this song is so cyberpunk, and that album is so cyberpunk. And listen for 1 minute and 45 seconds where Mick Mars just goes and the way he's got his guitar tuned and the way it vibrates, it's so electric, cyberpunk. And check it out. Too Fast for Love. Take Me to the Top. Motley Crue.